CQ40 meters. This is Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot. Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot calling 40. CQ on 40, CQ40. Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot calling 40. Okay, the Papa Alpha 3 Golf Lima question mark. Papa Alpha 3 Golf Lima question mark. Just writing that down. The name this side is Mark Mike Alpha Romeo Kilo, and I'm just in Kent in the southeast of England, about 20 kilometres south from the city of London itself. Papa Alpha 3 Golf Lima question mark. This is M0 JCF. Yeah, PA3GL, still with a question mark, old chap. Sorry, I lost you in a little bit of QSB and lots of QR Mexico from nearby. And I think you said you was near the city of Leiden. I'm pretty sure it was near the city of Leiden in the Netherlands. You was about a Radio 3, but a Santiago 8. Radio 3, but a Santiago 8. So your signal is good, but I can't hear you due to the QR Mexico. Very, very noisy bands today. Lots of people using it. So I'm using today a Ten Tec Argosy 525. It's a small analog transceiver from the early 80s, running about 50 watts peak at the moment, so 50 watts into a long wire antenna. So the obviously I'm getting out, but just not receiving you so well. I think probably the band is going longer as the sun sets, and I'm losing you because you're relatively local to me. So back to you, Papa Alpha 3 Golf Lima. This is M0 JCF, and apologies if I don't hear you. Gotcha. Kilowatt. Yeah, Papa Alpha 3 Golf Lima Kilowatt. This is Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot returning. Very good afternoon to you, Dave. Thank you for the 5 and 9. You came up out of the noise just about that time. 5 and 9, you peaked 5 and 9, and for the most part of that over, you were 5 and 9, sometimes dropping to a 4 and 9. So, and I understand now that you're using QRP 4 4 watts. That's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic, Dave. I operate QRP very often using Chinese-made micro SDX transceivers or my homemade true micro SDX. So you know, I built it from a kit. So not a true homebrew, but I built it from a kit. And yeah, but lovely to get you in the logbook, especially with you working just 4 watts. I didn't catch the antenna that you're using, but I did hear that you know the Ten Tec Argosy 525 very well. So it just goes to show that with some persistence and patience, it does work. You know, I was working just a QRP just a few days ago, and I made a few contacts, and this band can get very noisy, very crowded, especially as the sun sets and we get all of the Europeans coming in. So Dave, it's really nice to get you in the logbook. I've made a video of this one. I was making a video of me calling CQ, so I'm really pleased that I kept the video going, and you can find it on YouTube probably this evening. If you look on YouTube for M0 JCF ham radio, you'll see that you were captured, and I gave you a true reading from my actual meter. So that's the story, Dave. Back to you, and I think if we could make this one a final, just because it really is a struggle, but I'm really pleased to work you QRP. Back to you there, Papa Alpha 3 Golf Lima Kilowatt. This is Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot listening. Yeah, Papa Alpha 3, Golf Lima Kilo, Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Foxtrot returning for a final. Dave, an absolute pleasure to speak to you on your SDR transceiver. It was very interesting to work you with 4 watts. I don't work too many QRP stations, but always fantastic when I do. And as you say, you know the transceivers that I use. I say it's a bit of a struggle hearing you, and I don't know that it will even make a good video, but I'm going to post it anyway, and hopefully you can find it and drop me a message. If I don't speak to you again, Dave, have a fantastic Christmas, and very best good luck for 2023, and many more contacts, and maybe when the conditions are right we can work QRP to QRP. I'll really look forward to that. Take care, and thank you again for coming back to me. Just cutting it short, Dave, only because it's on this particular radio, it's quite difficult to hear you with by far, you know, you come up every now and again to a 5 and 9, but when you're sort of a 4 and 9 and 3 and 9, it becomes difficult. So take care, and bye bye for now, and best 73 to you and the family.
This is Papa Alpha 3.
It's 73. Bye-bye, Dave, and take care. Have a great time. QRZ. This is Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot, listening on 40. CQ40 meters. This is Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot, Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot, Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot in the southeast of England, calling 40. CQ on 40, CQ40. Here is Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot, Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot, calling 40. CQ40. Here is Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot, Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot, calling 40. CQ on 40, CQ40 meters. This is Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot, Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot, Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot, calling 40 meters. Yeah, 2 Echo 0, Lima Bravo. This is Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot, Mark in Sidcup in Kent. Today running the Ten Tec Argosy 525. I'll give you a report on the next over. How do you copy? 2E0 LLB. This is M0 JCF.
Transmitting on 5 watts at the moment, 5 watts. I'm getting you 5 and 9, a 5 and 9 in Cumbria, over.
Oh, excellent. 5 watts. I do love some QRP. You're the second QRP station to contact me. 2E0, Lima Bravo, Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot. Fantastic. That last over, you were a 5 and 9. When you called in, you were about a 4 and 9. Very, very noisy, my end today. But your 5 watts is making it. I'm running 50 watts, 50 watts. And the radio is an old analog, Ten Tec Argosy from the early 80s, and the antenna is just a 90-foot long wire, only about 25 feet above the ground. So you're doing a great job with that last over, 5 and 9. Didn't catch the name, not overly important this time, I think, given the conditions that we're operating. So I'll hand it back to you there. 2E0 LLB, this is M0 JCF.
I'm now on it's 18 watts at the moment now. I am using a 991A radio. I'm on a 991 Alpha radio here. My name is Lima Echo Echo. And I'm operating on an M-head area. It goes all around the back garden and on the house. And I'm getting no problem at all at the moment. I've got a bit of it has a bit of noise off the channel down, but other than that, I'm actually getting really well over.
Yeah, Lee, got you that time, and I understand you've increased the power slightly, and you're also using an end-fed antenna, the same as me. You come up to 5 and 9 plus. I'd say 5 and 9 plus 5, 5 and 9 plus 10 possibly on that last over, and I got it that you're running the 991 Alpha. So all good, mate. Can you just confirm the power? I think you said 18 watts, 18 watts. Was that correct, or did I hear wrong? Back to you, Lee. 2E0 LLB M0 JCF.
When I got all the first, I was on 5 watts. When I had that over, I was only on the 5 watts. And I'm on 18 watts at the moment. I'm on 18 watts. It's not 8 watts at the moment, over.
Yeah, okay there, Lee. No problem, mate. So with 5 watts, you were 5 and 9, and just bordering on a 4 and 9. That is my end. Just so much QR Mexico on the band today. But yeah, with your 18 watts, 5 and 9 plus, probably plus 10. So you know, a great job. And I quite often run QRP myself on QRP radios, but this old Argosy I haven't used for quite a few months now, so I just decided to dig it out and give it a go and just see what I could pull in. The band obviously going a bit longer now, especially for my antenna. It's an Envis antenna at these lower frequencies, so you know, I'm surprised that well, I don't know, maybe I'm not surprised, because Cumbria, you are probably getting easier, and probably as the sun sets you might actually get a bit stronger and louder to me, because I would imagine that yeah, I mean, if you were sort of Birmingham way or something like that, then I would probably start to struggle now as it goes longer. So yeah, it might be that your signal's actually picking up. I do forget that sometimes, you know, when I'm speaking to people in the Netherlands and Belgium and France, that they're actually closer to me than you are, QSL. Yeah, 2E0 LLBM0 JCF. Well, I've got to say, Lee, that last over was a bit of a struggle. It was just, it's not so much your signal, but everyone else's signals. European signals, I'd imagine, are starting to come in now, and they're not directly on top, but they're very, very close by. And I can just see it's going to get worse. So I'll tell you what, mate, we'll wrap it up for now. Love to have a rag chew with you, but it's I think for 40 meters it's a bit late in the day for rag chewing, you know, sort of our distance, and I think I'll give it a few more calls and then probably call it a day anyway. So I really appreciate you coming back to me, and fantastic to work you on with your QRP power down to me. That's always a plus point in this hobby, when we can prove a point by you know, just not using big power. And I'll say about big power, hopefully in the near future I'll have a few more QRP radios, and I'll probably concentrate a bit more on that. But for the time being, I'm going to wish you very best 73. I look forward to working you in the near future. As I say, hopefully QRP to QRP would be fantastic. And until then, I wish you a very Merry Christmas, Lee, and best 73 to the whole family, and have a great time, and look forward to 2023 when we can work again. Wrap it up now. 2E0 LLB M0 JCF. Just listening for a final, Lee. Yeah, cheers, mate. Really appreciate the effort that you put in there. It's always fantastic. QRZ, Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot listening. Okay, QRZ, station tuning. Would you like to come back to Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot? Nothing is heard. CQ40, CQ40 meters. This is Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot. Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot, calling 40. CQ40 meters. Here is Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot. Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot. Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot, calling 40. CQ on 40 meters. Here is Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot. Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot, calling 40.
Mike Whiskey 3, Hotel Alpha Sierra.
Okay, Mike Whiskey 3, Hotel, sorry, I missed one letter, Sierra. You was good and strong to me, so that shouldn't be a problem next time round, and I'll give you a report. The name is Mark, Mike Alpha Romeo Kilo, and I'm down in Kent, just about 15 miles southeast of the city of London. So back to you, Mike Whiskey 3, Hotel, Sierra, M0, JCF listening.
Yeah, okay, good afternoon, Mike. The call is Mike Whiskey number 3, Hotel Alpha Sierra, and the location is Cardiff, the city of Cardiff, Mark, and you're 59 plus 10 to 15 over. Hassan is the name. Hotel Alpha, double Sierra, Alpha November. That's you, Mark. Mike 0, Juliet Charlie, Fox, I think it was. Thank you, Michael.
Yeah, QSL. Sorry, I totally missed your name that time, and I know you spelt it. But and Mike Whiskey 3, Hotel Alpha Sierra. This is Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Fox. Okay, I've got you there in Cardiff. An absolutely stonking signal. The assumption is you're using 10 watts, but a fantastic signal, 5 and 9 plus 10 to me. I'm using 50 watts. I'm using an old Ten Tec Argosy 525, an early 80s analog radio, and the antenna is just a 90-foot long wire. It's a great Envis antenna, and I'll imagine that the reason you're getting a good signal from me is all due to the closeness of the ground of my antenna. It's only about 20 feet, 25 feet off the ground, and I find that I've got a good 7 dB lobe straight up, which is possibly what you're getting back down, and then I think it's about a 3.5, 4 dB lobe off to the side, but that one might not be coming back down on top of you. So that's the story, and apologies for not quite getting the name there. Well, so not quite, not completely. So back to you there, M Whiskey 3 HAS. This is M0 JCF.
Yeah, okay, Mark, as you can probably hear yourself, it's been taken over by a bit of distance going out wide now, Mark. It's splattering right over us now at the moment. Hassan is the name, if you can get the name. Hassan, Hotel Alpha double Sierra, Alpha November. That's Hotel Alpha double Sierra, Alpha November, Mark. Okay, I won't hold it. It's getting noisy now. It's got a change on the band, yeah. So 73, Mark.
Yeah, Hassan, I got it that time, and I really appreciate you coming back to me. Hassan, before you go, could you just tell me what antenna that you're using, please? I say you're 5 and 9 plus 10 to me, and the audio's good. You sound to me a little bit off frequency, but that's not you. You're probably on a spot frequency, and my radio's probably either drifted very slightly, or I haven't quite calibrated the analog dial. So just let me know what antenna you're using there, Hassan, before you disappear. Back to you.
Yeah,
Centre dipole, plus master, rail of the antenna in the space. And it's a 7-band antenna, off centre, 135 feet in total length. And it's over about 35 feet high at mark. So it's resonant on the 7-band, which is 7-bander. Resonant on every band, over.
Yeah, got that. Absolutely fantastic, Hassan. Just jotting that down as you was telling me, just for my paper logbook. I'm a bit anally retentive like that. I'm still old school, even with an M0 call sign. I'm old school. I've been doing it a long time. But okay, mate. Yeah, you're right. There's a little bit of QSB on your signal, and you're right. There is a lot of QR Mexico coming in from Europe now, and that QR Mexico, whilst not directly on top of me, it's either side, and getting louder and louder with everyone's overs. Take care, mate. Have a great Christmas, and look forward to speaking to you in 2023, I'm sure. And listen out for me, especially when working QRP, because it'd be great to work you with less than 10 watts and see how we can compare. All the best, mate. Bye-bye for now.
Yeah, okay, Mark. I went up to 600 then. 144, 600, and you were on spot on to me then. I don't know what frequency you got read out. I'm back with you now, where I originally came on the frequency, which is 144-500. So I don't know if you're reading the same frequency on that there, Mark, over.
Yeah, Roger, mate. Well, I'm seeing, approximately 7144. As I say, it's an analog dial, and I have to look at it absolutely square on. And about 7.144 is what I thought I was on. 144, 143, around about there. I really should recalibrate this radio. I haven't calibrated it for a few months, and as I say, every time you use the dial, they slip slightly anyway. But it's all good. As I say, any frequency discrepancy is going to be my end. Absolutely, there's not a problem there. Take care, mate, and bye-bye for now, and have a great evening. M3, Mike Whiskey 3. We'll get it right in a minute. Mike Whiskey 3, HAS. This is M0 JCF signing with you.
Yeah, okay, Mark. Just to let you know quickly before I clear, I come back up to 600, 144, 600, and I can hear you, you're more or less on the frequency on this one. It's 600, so it's a little bit off where I originally spoke to Mark. Okay, 73.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, mate. And as I say, I think I'm going to drift by those 500 hertz all the time. I can rock the dial all day long, and I'll never get it right. Maybe I should get myself a digital readout just temporarily, and just do a bit of work on the radio. But, this it's the nature of the beast. Bye-bye for now, mate, and take care. Really appreciate all of the information you've given me. QRZ, Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot.
Mike 0, Japan, Victor Bravo.
Hello, Jimmy. Stonking signal from you today, as we would expect. Be very disappointed if it wasn't. And I'll give you a proper report off this dial on the next over there. MM0, JVB, M0, JCF.
Yes, I think I've just called in at the wrong time. You've been 5-9 plus at times, Mark. And just at the very end there, you dropped away down. It's that time in the evening, mate, when it starts going long very, very quickly. But I was listening to you talking to Hassan there for just a couple of minutes. I don't know what you were talking about exactly, apart from Hassan's antenna. But you very strong. I'm getting called by the grandson. Back to you, Mark.
Yeah, MM0, JVB M0 JCF. Okay there, mate. Yeah, well, today I'm using the Ten Tec Argosy 525, the little analog radio, 50 watts input, and the long wire as always. That's the story, mate. But yeah, you're 5 and 9 plus 10 plus 15 to me. Absolutely no problem. And the audio as good and as Scottish as ever.
Yeah, thanks for that, mate. Thanks for that. I've just opened up my receive bandwidth a wee bit there to where am I? 2,500. I had a wee bit neater than that map. They gave her need a wee bit of QRM on your frequency. I don't know whether it was coming from above you or below you, but I was messing about with that to hear you. And it seems to have disappeared, so I can open my bandwidth up a wee bit better. And you're sounding brand new, Mark. I know you're off very slightly, but who's to say that you're off? Everybody else can be off. You can do it, mate, almost.
Yeah, QSO, mate. Listen, I'm only off when I'm in the middle of me QSO and it moves itself. Yeah, I'm on the frequency that I'm on. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, I thought, and when I started, I was on 145 or 143. I can't remember what I told Hassan, but yeah, he said I was on 71446. I mean, you know, it's always difficult with these old radios. Getting yourself bang on frequency, but you know the way that I look at it is I pick a frequency and that's the frequency I'm on, so long as I'm not treading on anyone's toes, and that's the way that I stick on. And yeah, it's always, you know, like there's always people telling me you know, you're a little bit off frequency, and I'll say to them, well, where do you think I should be? And they say, well, you should be on 714,500. And I, well, why should I be? I've had this argument with a few people in the past, you know, and I say no. If I was, you know, if I'm calling CQ and I'm on a frequency that no one else is using, and I'm not out of band or on a part of the band that you shouldn't be using SSB on, excuse me, then I'm on frequency, you know. But yeah, it's a funny old world, isn't it? People get, you know, ideas in their head about where you should be. Do you know one of the old ones that used to really rattle my cage back in the 70s and early 80s? And when people used to say, right, your signal on full RF is I don't know, 5 and 9. On halfway RF, you're 5 and 7. And when I've got you fully turned down on the RF, you're 5 and 4. And I used to say to him, why are you telling me all that, mate? You know, that's nothing to do with it. I don't care. You know, I'm only interested in your full RF, you know, signal report. And you know what it's like. People get these ideas that, you know, all these controls are useful to everyone else. Yeah, I mean, the RF gain, I find it incredibly useful to back it off. When, you know, there's a lot of QR Mexico. The only problem is this radio doesn't have one, so I can't back off the RF gain to drop the noise floor, which is a bit of a shame. What I do use actually, which is I suppose it to some respects an incorrect use of it, is the notch filter. I sometimes back the notch filter left and right off of its center position, and sometimes that can remove a bit of QR Mexico. I suppose it depends on the pitch of the QR Mexico. Anyway, that was a long ramble. Enough for the QSB to nick me away from you, Jimmy. Back to you, MM0, JVB, M0, JCF.
No, I got you that 100%, Mark. You never skipped a beat the whole way. Hassan was spot on. 7.144.60. I've got you on as well, Mark. So he's spot on. What frequency was receiving you on? Because I'm the very same. And coming back to you the same. There's no RX or TX clarifiers getting used. So I'm on what frequency you're calling on. And that's the proper frequency. It doesn't matter what the readout is, that's the proper frequency that you're calling on. I'm returning to you on it. What you got planned for Christmas? Everybody knew it's you, missing the two girls over.
Yeah, Roger, mate. Yeah, well, thanks for the clarification. What am I doing for Christmas? Well, being that I'm now a man of leisure, I won't be going to work. I know that much. No, this year it looks like, I mean, there was a few options, but it looks like it's going to be me, my good lady wife, and the daughters. I think all four of us are going to be sort of home for Christmas. I have got a turkey in the freezer. I future-proofed that one. I bought a turkey about 6 weeks ago and just bunged it in the freezer. I'm not too worried about like fresh turkeys, etc. You know, so I've sort of future-proofed that. My eldest daughter is a vegetarian, so I normally make her a nice pie, normally with leeks and chestnuts and stuff like that. Try and make it a little bit Christmassy with the chestnuts, etc. And a nice bit of puff pastry, all butter puff pastry and all that old nonsense, you know, and that keeps her happy. But no, it looks like we're going to be at home. We had options to visit a few people. My mum's just literally come out of hospital a few days ago. She's had a hip replacement, so she lives down on the southeast coast of Kent. So I'll go down and see my mum, although she will be spending Christmas Day with my sister. One of my sisters, she lives down that way as well. So you know, like I will go and visit my mum at some point. And my wife and I will probably at some point see my mother-in-law. But yeah, nothing really planned. I suppose was the short answer. Is yeah, what have I got planned for Christmas? Nothing. There you go. That was the short answer. But the long answer is the one that I've given you, because as you know, Jimmy, I do like to flap that jaw around a bit. Back to you, MM0, JVB M0 JCF.
Yeah, QSL Mark, no. I was just asking, I don't know what we're doing. My wife is expecting to be off Christmas Day because she worked last year, Christmas Day. So she's expected to be off Christmas Day. No doubt, if she is, it will be at home. And everybody will come here, my mother and my kids and the grandkids and stuff like that, Mark, no doubt. So Joy's never got in touch with me to ask where she can get you a nice 60-foot stimwreck tower with an ultra beam on it. So you're probably not getting what you wanted for Christmas, Mark, over.
Do you know what? If I got what I wanted for Christmas, mate, I wouldn't be me. I'd be somebody completely different on a different planet. That's how it works. Yeah, she actually asked me today, believe it or not, what did I want for Christmas? And I said, you know what? Nothing. As always, nothing. There's nothing I want. I mean, there's loads of things that I want. Of course, we all want lots, don't we? And there's many and varied. But no, there's nothing I want, Jimmy. I suppose you know, we've lost a few family members this year, that sort of thing. I just want everyone to have a great time, everyone to be happy. We'll all be together. And do you know what? I'll be happy this year to sit in front of the telly, and for the first time ever, I mean, obviously I've watched the Queen's speech in the past, but I think this year, I think just for, you know, just to, you know, the historic value of it, I think I want to watch the King's speech. And so I'll sit down and watch old Charlie say his bit and do what he's got to do. And I just want to sit there, you know, eat me food, drink me drink, and just generally be with me wife and my daughters. And then Boxing Day onwards, you know, just you know, sort of go and see who we have to see. That will suit me just fine. And you know, like your wife working Christmas Day, well, I've been very, very fortunate, you know, over the years. before I stopped. You know, I think I only was ever on call Christmas Day once. I've never worked the shift on Christmas Day, I don't believe. I think I've done Boxing Day, and I've worked a shift on Christmas Eve many times, but I've only ever been on call once on Christmas Eve, and I actually got called, which was a bit of a bummer. Not the end of the world, but you know how things go. But so I've been lucky in that sense. And every year it used to come round with the rota. Right, can we have cover for Christmas? And I always used to book off all of the days between Christmas and New Year's Day. I always traditionally book those off, and I was always told, you know, oh, every year. But you know, someone else has got, you know, someone else needs to have a turn, and you might have to cover it. But it turns out that, you know, some people love being on call or on shift or whatever over Christmas. A, because they get triple money, and B, they love their job so much, and, you know, or they haven't got family, or, you know, they didn't have plans. So, you know, as luck was always on my side, that there was always more volunteers than was needed. So consequently, I never had to cover, I say, apart from once, and that was back in the 90s. There you go. That's the last time I worked a Christmas Day, was around about 90, I'd say about 97 was the last time I was on call on Christmas Day, and I physically got called out. So yeah, really lucky there, Jimmy, back to you.
Yeah, it's something I've never had to do myself much. Likewise, family members passing away. This morning, me and my wife were at her oldest brother's funeral this morning, Mark. And over the last month or so, there is 4 people passed that are close to me, and a friend's mother as well the other day there. My friend's mother was actually my own mother's friend at high school. They went to high school together, and they went to each other's weddings and stuff like that. And funny enough, later on in life, me and her son became friends. And it just shows you how much of a small world it is, Mark. But for the last month or so, that's 2 funerals, and 2 other people passed away. A very good friend who I found out this morning has left his body to science for cancer studies and stuff like that to be done on him at Glasgow University. So I was expecting a funeral, but there isn't going to be one. There's going to be a remembrance day for him in one of the local bowling clubs. So I maybe be able to get there after work. And I don't know about my friend's mother who passed a couple of days ago. I've not got a clue about those arrangements yet. But Mark, I'm the older I get, it's just getting like a constant conveyor belt of people passing away. It's terrible, Mark, although.
Yeah, I understand, mate. I understand. But you know, the problem is, Jimmy, is we've caught up, haven't we? You know, you and I and other people of our age, we've caught up. We are that generation that's, I know it's a bit of a morbid subject to be talking about, and a bit of a sad subject to be talking about. But, you know, we have caught up, you know. I mean, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, you know, it was never even in my mind mind. And of course, the people in front of me, the generation in front of me, were also, relatively speaking, young, you know. And but yeah, we've all caught up. As I say, I'll be 60 in February, and you know, my mum is 70. Well, she's 76 this year. She literally had me as a teenager, and yeah, she loves it when I tell people that story. But you know, she's 76. She's just had this hip operation. You know, she got a brand new hip put in and all that old nonsense, or hip joint put in. You know, and we have these conversations. You know that out of me and her, conceivably, I could actually go first, and that's the crazy world that we're living in. And of course, all my brothers and sisters, I've got 2 brothers, 2 sisters, all younger than me, and my youngest sister is 6 years younger than me. So you know, my mum was like a machine gun when it came to babies. But you know, we're all getting to that age now where, you know, as you say, friends, family, and that have started going. You know, and you think, hang on a minute, it's happening all of a sudden, but it isn't. It's just, you know, it's just the cycle of life, isn't it? You know, it's catching up with us. But you know, it just, you start questioning your own mortality and stuff like that, and you know, it can drive you nuts if you're not careful. But there you go. And sometimes it is nice to talk about it. It is nice to wax lyrical about it, without a doubt. You know, you can't hide it, you can't avoid it. I don't want to get morbid about it or anything like that, you know, and I don't want to get miserable about it. But yeah, you're quite right. You know, it's it does seem like a conveyor belt, but you know, if you sort of get it all in perspective, it is just I'm afraid the way things are. Yeah, the other thing as well, you know, you say about your grandkids, Jimmy. I mean, that's something I haven't got yet. I mean, my daughters are 23 and 26, and they're still not in a position yet to be parents themselves. They don't particularly want to be, and I'm not in any hurry to, you know, to become a granddad in that sense. You know, I want them to enjoy their lives, but you know, I'm quite looking forward to becoming a granddad myself. And of course, I'll probably, you know, I'll probably be mid-60s maybe when I finally, if I do become a granddad. And of course, by the time those children are sort of old enough for me to take out on their own motorbikes and stuff like that, you know, I'm probably going to be into my 70s or whatever. So I'm going to try and enjoy like every moment of it, you know, to try and grab every day. It's why I took early redundancy, Jimmy. You know, not redundancy, sorry, early retirement. You know, a few people have questioned it, and I said, look, you know, life's too short in that sense. There's plenty that me and my wife want to do, and I think I've explained to you before, you know, the condition that she's got. And it's just a case of, you know, got to grab every moment, mate, grab every moment, because as you say, the conveyor belt is shifting closer and closer our way. Anyway, enough of all that, because I'm sure I'm going to depress half the world that can hear me on 40 metres. Back to you, MM0, JVB M0, JCF.
Yes, well, it sounds as if my mother's the same age as your mother, Mark. I think you said she's 76. Did you say your mother's 76? My mother's 76 as well. She had me when she was 20 years old. I've no brothers or sisters, and I'm 56 in a couple of weeks' time. So she's 76 for sure, Mark. Pardon me. Like me, like you also, brought up a couple of daughters. They're 30 now and 26. The youngest one gave me 2 grandsons, which for me is absolutely fantastic, Mark. And you, if you're lucky, you'll get grandsons, Mark. You've always had to deal with girls, and having wee boys later on in life is just absolutely the best thing ever. if you're used to having girls. Motorbikes, I would love to go down the motorbike road with them, but we've got a wee problem there. The grandson's father, his mother was killed in a motorbike accident, Mark. She was taken through to pick up a motorbike brand new from the showroom, and on the way back from the showroom, a police car come through a red light and wiped her out and killed her instantly. So I don't know about going down the motorbike route with him, whether his father would be happy about it or anything like that, because he was pretty young when it happened. He was a teenager when it happened, Mark, so I'm pretty sure motorbikes are known how much I want to do for his kids over.
Yeah, totally understand, mate, and totally understand, you know, where that comes from. But no, I suppose I should have clarified. You know, like I used to drag race motorcycles, didn't I? And well, I've done lots of motorcycle racing. I've done speedway, I've done road racing because I lived near Brands Hatch. So you know, I've done speedway and I've done road racing, and of course, in the last like 15 years, you know, I was drag racing a motorcycle, and of course my youngest daughter, she was drag racing motorcycles. I mean, we bought the first one already built, the second one we built, and then the third one we built for her, and it was more along those lines. I was thinking not like road bikes or maybe even dirt bikes or anything like that. I was thinking like junior drag bikes, you know, they can start at age 7, and the idea is you know, relatively speaking, I mean nothing's ever safe, is it? But relatively speaking, you know, it was you know, get them on a drag bike at the age of 7 onwards, which is why I was saying, you know, by then I'll probably be in my 70s anyway. But the idea is you know, you can build a drag bike from scratch. You know, you just grab yourself an engine from somewhere, a pair of wheels. Now I've got wheels and I've got front suspension and all sorts, you know, already in my garage. So you know, like for me, it's a case of just getting a chassis made, buying an engine to go in that chassis, and then, you know, just having a bit of fun. So in a straight line, and they only do 1/8 of a mile as well. So because, you know, like Charlotte has done the drag racing herself, and you know, she went from strength to strength. The bikes got bigger and faster, etc. And then she got to 16, 17 years old, and it was the bank of dads not paying for this anymore. Now you're a grown up, you're leaving school, etc. You're going to have to pay for your own meetings and whatever, and it all stopped. So you know, it didn't stop because she got bored with it. It stopped because she'd have to pay for it. But you know, and that would be what, you know, I mean, of course, then it comes down, as you say, to the parents, i.e., my daughters and their partners, etc. You know, would they be happy for granddad to be building them a motorcycle? And as you say, you know, from your experience, it probably not. Until we know who my daughters are settled down with and the backgrounds, you know, we're never going to know. But there you go. You know, it's something to look forward to, I think, and that's the thing, Jimmy. For me, it's always about, you know, thinking ahead, looking forward, and making plans. You know, several times we've discussed, you know, all these motorcycle parts, and I've got loads of them in my garage. You know, and the discussion is, what are we going to do with these? What are we going to do with that? Do you need to keep the other thing? And no, at this moment in time, no, I don't need any of it. And I suppose, you know, it's just sitting there gathering dust. But, you know, I'm trying to future-proof it again. You know, what I don't want to do is be a granddad and get all excited, you know, about one thing and another, but have to start from scratch. What I like to do is go out into the garage, you know, take the dust covers off, and lo and behold, half of it is there. So you know, it's just the way that I am. You know, it doesn't suit everyone. Of course, the other thing you got to remember I might have grandchildren that have got absolutely zero interest in anything granddad's interested in. So whether it's motorcycles, radios, oil painting, whatever, you know. I mean, I do lots of oil painting on canvas. It's one of my passions. And my daughters both started, way back when they were younger. I used to give them canvases and my oil paints, you know, and I've got a loft full of their artwork, you know, that really they wanted to throw away a few years back. And I said, no, because, you know, this is artwork that you did way back in the day. Now, they've got no interest in doing it now. But, you know, back then they really enjoyed it, you know, and oil painting on canvas isn't a cheap hobby. So, it's just, there's loads of little things, you know, that I'm interested in, that they sort of were interested in because I almost pushed them into it. So we just got to wait and see what happens. Who knows what the future holds, you know. The way the world's going at the moment, we could all be arse about face and end up with nothing, you know. We could all be freezing to death, couldn't we, somewhere. So look, we walked it back round to death again. Right, I tell you what, Jimmy, I'm going to go now, mate. I've just checked the old clock on my wrist. I see it's now 5 to 5, almost crackerjack time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go indoors now and start cooking dinner. I'm going to do myself a couple of lovely pork chops this evening. So I'm going to a couple of lovely pork chops. I'm actually going to fry them, but I'm going to roast myself some little potatoes and some other vegetables. And then, of course, if I'm going to do that, I'm then obliged to do it for the rest of the family. So I'm really pleased that you come back to me. I'm glad that I've used this radio today and got a few hours use out of it. It hasn't been used for some time, and I've been videoing it as well. So what we got here, we got nearly an hour's worth of video here for YouTube. So you'll find yourself up there. I think you're up there multiple times anyway, and you get an idea of what you sound like on this old Argosy. So I'll tell you what, mate, I'm gonna cut it off there, and wish you all the very best. Now I'm sure I will speak to you before then, but if I don't, mate, have a fantastic Christmas. Hopefully your wife won't have to work. It'll be brilliant if she doesn't have to, if she doesn't want to, that is, and can all sit down and join me in well, I don't know if it's your thing. I mean, it's not my thing, but I think for historic value, I'm just going to probably catch the King's, as I say, the King's speech this year. But have a glass for me. I'll tell you what I've got, Jimmy, coming from your neck of the woods. I've actually got myself a bottle of Drambuie. I know it's from across the water slightly, the Isle of Skye, but I've got myself a Drambuie. I've got into that just recently, so I like the herby taste of that whiskey from, I think it's from the Isle of Skye, isn't it? I think we've talked about this before on social media. So anyway, yeah, come Christmas afternoon, I'll have a glass of that. I'll sit down with me a bowl of nuts and some dates and God knows what else that I can ram down me fat face, and so I'll watch that, and I'll be thinking of you. So I think I've rambled on enough trying to say goodbye. Have a great time, mate, and if I don't speak to you before Christmas, I'll catch you sometime in 2023, I'm sure. MM0 JVB M0 JCF, wishing you and yours the very best 73, Jimmy, and thanks again for coming back to me.
Yeah, no problem, Mark. My daughter used to go to art school, Mark, as well, and done some oil paintings many years ago. I don't know the last time she done a painting the last time. She actually sold a few, Mark. And at one point in time she would want to be a tattoo artist. Hence the reason I'm covered legs, back, chest and arms. I used to let her practice tattooing on me. Come on, the 30-year-old one first, before she got to start new ones. She did my shins and my calves and the back of my legs and stuff like that. And I had to be careful with her, Mark. If I peed her off, she would dig the bloody thing into it and make sure that I bled. So should have never let her back after that time. She's not done one on me for years and years back. So, aye, she was into the oil painting and sold a few. People asked her to do a couple of paintings that you'd seen, and she'd done them for them. So, that was years ago back. Anyway, I'm on the Mike 0 GCS. You're going to make somebody a lovely wife one day. Go get that dinner bed. And you don't fry pork chops. You wrap them in tin foil and bake them in the oven, Mark. 73.
Yeah, 73, mate. We'll talk pork chops, tattoos, and all the rest of it next time. And I wish you all the best and appreciate you coming back to me. Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie Foxtrot going QRT. This frequency is clear for use. This frequency is clear for use.